Hi all. Right, yeah, I've been away for uh, 2 or 3 days again. Just don't seem to be able to. To be honest, it wasn't for the want to get back this time. It's just busy with other things and work and stuff. That annoying thing that you've got to keep doing. Um, right, so we didn't finish this impulse, and we were contemplating, wondering if this was going to be an attack. We rolled the dice, and it did come up as an attack, didn't it? I might just have to just look briefly back on that. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, because I think I rolled the dice and then I started wondering about, well, they're in low supply. And there was just something bugging me about it. I did feel like, because I felt like we've done that, or I've certainly contemplated attacking my low supply units. And pretty, what struck me was you just don't get to draw a combat tactic. But something just felt a bit odd about it. So I put the question out there. John Brown came back saying that he doesn't read anything that stops that from happening. Basically, if they're out of supply, I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, so he reckons the attack's good. He also mentioned a couple of other things, so I will bring these up while we're talking about it. He noted this unit moved from, I think it was here. Yeah, I think it was here. So it was 1, 2, 3 away from its army objective, and this would have put it. No, that can't be that, because. Right, hang on. I better just check what I'm talking about here. Okay, yeah, was just watching that back again, because I remember I moved units initially. The infantry units moved up adjacent to here, and then I had to backtrack because I realised that units could get closer to their army objective and be adjacent to VP hex. So basically, moving the movement method 2. So I did move this. He could reach, what was it? This hex or this hex, wasn't it? No, this hex wasn't. This hex wasn't going to be closer to his army objective. That was it. Yeah. So it was here, 1, 2, 3 away, and he could move here adjacent to Ufe, but he'd be 1, 2, 3 away. So that's not. He wants to get. He needs to be heading both closer to his army objective and adjacent to Allied VP hex. So that's why I ended up moving him into here. So now he's 2 away from his army objective, so he's 1 hex closer, and he's adjacent to an Allied VP hex. Well, John suggested, should this unit not have tactically adjusted into this hex? And as soon as he said that, and I looked at the situation, it clicked. This was one of the things that came up. At least I'm pretty sure it was, and I'm hoping it was, because this is what I'm thinking. Because it's a strange one, and this is one of the rules I think that we did get clarified that's really going to catch you out. It's caught me out here so easily, because I move him here, and he's now close to his army objective adjacent to an Allied VPX. So the move is legal. He can make that move. However, once he is here, he then looks at the possibility, could he reach any of these other hexes? And he could reach this hex by just coming into this here. Now, I'm pretty sure we did get this clarified, and that is right. And now he's still 3 away from his army objective. So I think that's what throws you and think, well, that can't be, because you're not getting closer to your army objective anymore. But he can make the move into here. I mean, if he couldn't make the move into here at all, for some reason, he didn't have the movement or whatever, then he wouldn't just then move into here, because he's not close to his army objective. It's only because he can make the move into here, be closer to his army objective, adjacent to an Allied VP hex, Then you look at tactical adjustment and say, can he reach an empty hex with this move? And he can, back in there. So I'm pretty sure that's how it all panned out. I was trying to find the clarification we got regarding that one, and I couldn't find it. And I think there's just been that much within these two games that it's really just starting to catch up with me now. And of course it's been going over a period of months now, both these games. So I'm sure you can understand it's not easy to keep all this up top, you know. Probably should try and find that clarification though, shouldn't I? Just to make sure we do have that right. Okay, I can't seem to find what it is I'm looking for, some kind of confirmation of this, but I know this is came up. I did come across one of the questions I asked, and it looked like there was talk of this. But yeah, this has definitely come up before, where you move the unit going by a movement method, and even maybe you looked at tiebreakers, and in the end tactically adjust it into a hex which kind of overrides everything, tiebreakers and the actual movement rule, which is kind of what's done here. Because, you know, this move, that's the only thing I can say. If he wasn't able to reach this hex, this unit wouldn't have moved. It wouldn't have moved here with that movement method, because it's not close to its army objective. It's only moving there to readjust. Right, I think that's right. And well, John did pick it up that he felt that one of the units that I moved should have went there, and it would be that one, John, because that was the first one. I know this one moved in here after, but selector number going in ascending order, this unit would have moved here first, readjusting it to here. And then this other one, when it moved here, it's nowhere to readjust to, because both hexes have got a unit in them. So he just stays where he is, which is closer to his army objective. So yeah, okay. Unless I'm picking anything up wrong there still, then just let me know. The other thing John mentioned, he found it in the FAQ on BGG. He says that all core numbers are lower than the OKW. So there we go. Remember when we were trying to differentiate between this selector number 4 unit and, was it the first SS selector number 4 unit? And I think I moved the OKW, but it should have been the other way about it. It didn't make any difference in that situation, but yeah, I should have went and had a wee look for that, because that's bound to have cropped up before that. So the OKW units are always the highest number. Yeah, okay. So yeah, and like I say, he didn't see any issues with this attack on the head up top. So I'm just going to double check everything with that before we go ahead with that. Right, yeah, I was just looking back, double checking. So we had 1.5 to 1 odds on this 10 strength to 6 strength situation when we rolled a 3. There was a -1 for the army card, and there was a -1 for, what was it, elite? Must be, yeah, there's an elite second SS unit there. So that meant that the combat's a go. Like I say, I left it there because I just didn't feel quite comfortable about the fact that these units were the most supply. I mean, I think this could be a better attack for us. I mean, it might not be once we draw some chits. It might not be, but I can play a combat tactic here, and he cannot. And you've got to assume that he doesn't benefit from this, because this is a combat tactic, so he's not going to benefit from that artillery tactic either. I can't. He's not going to draw a card. Yeah, I mean, that's how it's got to be, I think. The one sort of slight wee doubt in my mind is, well, does this maybe not count as... But it is, it's still a combat tactic, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if there was another unit that wasn't in low supply involved in the combat, then yes, by all means, we could use these. You could use that. We could draw a card for a combat tactic. We could also use a support card, maybe, if it wasn't, obviously, if it wasn't different from that. Okay, so yeah, so I think, well, we'll see. We'll see once we draw chats, like I said. And yeah, I added a wee bit on at the end of that last video, just briefly, when I seen that this was selector number 1, and he should have done the check in here first. But there was 2 selector number 1, so that check could have been done in there. Not happened. And then the other selector number 1 unit is checking in here. So we kind of jumped ahead a little bit there. Well, this was a selector number 1. We done the check there. I know he was there at the time, but that wouldn't have made any difference. That check would have still been the same. That failed. And like I said, I then looked at, what was that? Is it not selector number 2 underneath? Yeah, we used him instead of, we should have used a 1 there. Then we should use a 1 here. And the 2 that's there now can't check in because that's already been checked. So, right. Oh dear. Right, okay, so the odds are, well, the odds are, you've got 10 strength, so it's actually 10 to 5 once we take away the situational side and just straight up 10 to 5. So it's 2 to 1 odds. Now, I say they can't play a combat tactic. Now, I suppose there's nothing to say they wouldn't be able to bring in reserves. I mean, low supply just says you can't play a combat tactic. However, like we've said, there's no hex that reserves can come in either. Oh dear. Right, hang on. Right, well that was a disaster, and I've been away for ages trying to work out. There wasn't that much moved there. This hex had moved, so I worked out what's in this hex. This IP got thrown away, and it was a dice. What was the other thing? There was a, I can't find that on the floor anywhere. A detachment in Verbamont. I can't find it on the floor, but it looks, I mean, on the previous video it's there. However, the one thing that's baffling me the most is this unit was up at the top of the table. It was on the table as if it had been knocked somewhere as well. And I can't find... Oh, hang on. No. I've no idea where that unit was. And if it was in its reduced side or not. Hang on, I've just seen Havilonge maybe. Hang on. Yeah, okay, I did find it. It was in Havilonge. That's weird. And it is on its reduced side. Away down here. How did I manage to move that unit off the top of there with that clumsy manoeuvre and not disturb anything else there? That's quite weird and freaky. And yeah, that unit was there. He made an attack. He was one of the units that made the attack to destroy that last, the 47th unit that we had. So I'm not sure. I mean, it was my tweezers that fell. I must have caught that and flicked it. Like I say, I can't find the wee brown cube anywhere. But going by the last video, I see there is a detachment still in that town. So, okay. Great. Anyway. Right, I was trying to remember where we were at after all that. Okay, I had put the dice out. That's why the dice was up there. It was on the carpet as well. So the odds were 2 to 1. And like we say, they can't draw a combat tactic. And yeah, it was looking at reserves, but I think we've already looked at it. They can't, yeah, I was suggesting they can't even have a unit stacked in here because it's reserve supply they need to trace, and they're surrounded. So, I mean, this is the only kind of hex it might be, but again, we can't, because there's no bridge here, we can't trace reserve supply. Well, we can't trace supply, never mind reserve supply. So there's nowhere to put a reserve German unit to join the attack there, and to keep it in reserve supply. So that's all they're getting. They're getting 2-1 odds. Chip pool wise, it's probably going to be 3, isn't it? So it's 2 units and 1 elite. So that's 3. Now this is the good bit is that we can play a combat tactic or more than one. So this is something to like really think about maybe. Admittedly, it's not going to increase the chip pools. We'd probably like, in some ways, like more chip pools than 3. Because all we're really going to do to them is maybe take a step off them. But I'm saying that we are infantry, he's armoured, he's elite. You know, we're not in the. You know, we're not winning this fight, I suppose. I guess it's just because he can't play combat tactic more. Right, let me have a look, see if there's anything I might like to play though. Yeah, I'm maybe getting a bit carried away about nothing here really. The fact that it's only 3 chip pools is the problem, isn't it? It's not really. You know, the one card I'm thinking about is possibly this for Tank Battalion. The card, because I like all the other cards I've got in my hand. I do have that 18 core division card that's got artillery on it. But there's only 3 chip pools coming. This would give me armour and reduce these odds to 1.5 to 1. I mean, I started thinking at first reinforcing the battle, but I mean, yeah, I could move that guy in, but I don't really want to move that guy, not with these guys all here. So all I could do is maybe put that guy in, but I think probably this Tank Battalion may be better. Plus, yeah, the reinforced battle cards, the 2 cards that I've got that on, I don't really want to use them. So, do I play this Tank Battalion or do we just take our chances? Yeah, I actually think I am going to play this card. You know what? I'm sitting there spending too much time trying to make these decisions, and I need to just get on with the game. So I'm just going to do it. So I don't know if it's the best move or not. So it is going to knock his odds down, because that's going to give me 6 strength. He's got 10. So he's going to be back down to that 1.5 to 1. If I can find a 1, but it is 1.5. So if that chip comes up, but maybe the more important one is it gives me armor in the battle as well. So, okay, yeah, let's just go with that. So he's going to draw 3 chits. Okay, let's get them. Okay, there's 3 chits. Well, none of them apply to artillery. This is 6 to 1 on the front, or combat engineer on the back. So, I mean, yeah, there was a card I could have played with artillery, so we could have had. Yeah, it would just be 1 hit on them. We wouldn't be taking any hits. So, hopefully this combat tactic that comes along with this doesn't apply, or it would be. Well, they would be drawing another chit as well, I suppose. But I can't see they can't get the artillery out of that. It's still a combat tactic, so nothing happens. Yeah, so I also wasted that Tank Battalion, I suppose. We hope. Okay, I think that's everything then, because we checked here, we've checked here, we've checked here. The only other one is here, but there's only 1 unit adjacent to this, and he's going across the river, so that's 1 against 3, so that's not going to result in anything at all. Yeah, so I think that's all the checks. So it's just left to decide. Oh, actually, these guys should be like that because they attacked. I think pretty much everything made a move, didn't they? All these units, they were all the units involved. The ones underneath that weren't active. None of this was active. So yeah, everything's moved. And then these guys attacked. So no bouncing back to reserves and no IPs to be... Oh, this is a one. Hang on, Grant. You've got one guy under there. He could bounce back, couldn't he? Yeah, he's not moved. He just stayed there. They done a check, so they didn't do an attack. So that's 9.6, isn't it? I need to remind myself of that one. Did not move or attack. Was not placed from reserves. Adjacent to an allied unit. Can trace reserve supply. And the removal would leave at least 2 steps. Yeah, I think he's going to go back to the reserves because that is going to leave 2 steps. And that hex. And the fact he sat there, yeah, he done nothing. So he's going to bounce back to reserves as well. So there's a lot of them in the reserves actually. Okay, so I think that's it, but we do still have the support card sitting here. So I'll try and get that dealt with and we can move on. Probably not tonight though, I think I'll probably just get this done and that'll be it. But I should be able to do this because it's just that small core. So that's that activation over. But like I said, they've got, that's the 66 core. That's the sort of orangey, pinky guys. What would you call that colour? Salmon? Oh. Maybe. That's what I would call it. Salmon. There you go. Right, hang on. Okay, so there they are there. Now, we would be trying to replace a point, but they're all full strength. I think we replaced a point the last time, and that's why they've not moved, because their core objective is actually still here. And there's not an allied unit. Oh, look! I've just found the wee brown cube that must have come off Werbemount, just lying in the middle of nowhere there. So there we go. That mystery is solved. Yeah, so there's not an allied unit anywhere. They're all full strength, so we're not going to repair a point. We are going to activate them. There's no roadblocks. Their core objective, like I say, there's no allied unit within 3, so that's going away. That's the last of the core objectives away, so they're all going to follow army objectives now. So they're following the 5th Panzer Army objective, which is in Dinant. So it's not moving. Like I say, no roadblocks. So my guess is they're going to start making a move west. So let's have a look. Yeah, okay, so just went straight to methods 10 to 13. There's nothing else, these guys. They're too far away out of the action. And unfortunately, there's no arrow in this hex for this guy. He's selected number 1. Sorry, there's maybe going a bit of a shadow here. I'm leaning over one of my lights, so yeah, so he's not going to benefit from extended movement, is he? So 1, 2, 3. I think that's the best he's going to get. Let's say 1, 2. I mean, he could go there or there, but this one's, he's right on the line towards Dinant, and this one's west of A2, so he's close. That's closer. Right, let's move on, Grant. Right, there's an arrow here, so he'll be able to benefit. So what, they got an extra 2 additional movement points, don't they? they don't need to start on a road, do they? Continues moving in the direction indicated by movement arrows. Yeah. Yeah, they don't need to start on the road. It's just the Allies' strategic movement that needs that. So 1, and then this is his arrow because he's the 5th Panzer Army. 2, and then same again, 3. Then he would want to follow the primary arrow to get an extra 2 movement. 1, 2. So, so what did I say? 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, extending it, and you would leave a detachment back there. Oh, sorry, that's just off camera. You can see where he's ended up though. So I think that's right. So that's unit number 2, and then unit number 5, right? He's going to get some movement then. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he gets to. Did they get double? Yeah. So we'd be there for 5. Right, there's 2 arrows. The 5th one comes back down, and then we go along. Okay. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Sorry, that's probably a way off camera as well. I'm getting carried away here. I'll zoom out a little bit. So, yeah, I'll show you the problem hex just now then. So 1, following primary arrows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into here. And then the primary 5th is down this way. So 1, and then the primary is this way, 2, then 3, then we've got a primary going that way, or a secondary with a 5 going that way. I guess we follow the primary, because if you look in that hex there's a primary going that way, or a secondary with a 6 going that way. So my guess is, in here, if you've got any other unit, you can't go that way if it's a 6th Panzer Army unit, because that's a 5, and same with that one, you can't go with a 5th Panzer Army unit. So my guess is still sticking primary, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so into Manhay. Yeah. That's quite a good place for him to go as well, because did I not say we could trace, I think Allied supply is traceable to Manhay. One, 2, yeah, it is. So that's not a bad move for him. So yeah, so even a detachment where he leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no more detachments, and then 1, 2, 3, leave a detachment. No, yeah, here 4, 5, and into Manhay, and that'll come away. So there is three detachments, I think. So he left 1. Where did they come from? Here. Is that right? No. Yeah, that's right. That's where he was to start with. And then they left another 2, 1 in here, and 1 in here. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that feels pretty good. I don't think the units, I don't think there's any restrictions broken there, because the units weren't really doing anything. They wanted to get moving, and that's what they've started doing. So okay, so pretty sure that's good. Right, so that's the end of the German impulse. So I'll tidy up the chats. I'm going to cut this just now. I've not got any more time tonight. and well, it's probably not enough for to put together for a video, but good chance over the next few days I'll get the chance to play a little bit more though. Try and keep pushing on and getting through this, and I have managed to get Red Storm set up on my other table. It's a beast of a map. It's over there. It's it's 2 maps the size of Ardennes turned the other way. So, and then I've got a bit of plexiglass that fits one side of it on the right hand side, which was cut. It's not a normal size plexiglass. Well, I don't know what the sizes are generally, but I think it was cut for some reason, or did I cut it maybe? And the other bit is just a bit sort of. I mean, what I could do is another bit like I've got and cut it as well, but yeah, anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I've got that set up there, and I've been fiddling about with it, and try to play through a couple of examples, and that's I mean, I don't know. I suppose I know enemy action a wee bit, but I think some folk have said. I think John Brown even compared it to some other sort of weight wise, but no, I don't know. It looks a lot tougher, but it's maybe because I'm trying to learn it. Maybe once you start learning these things, obviously it gets easier. Anyway, so at least I've got somewhere else I can do other things, because I did kind of want to get that set. That was one that I wanted to get set up and start seeing what I was, doing something with it. I mean, I've got other stuff as well, but anyway, okay. Right, I'll cut this just now, and I'll get back with an Allied Impulse sometime soon, guys. Okay, cheers. Hi all. On to the next Allied Impulse. I thought I had it all worked out. I was going to activate 12 core way down the south here. I had a few ideas, and also wanted to add that other cavalry unit to. Oh, actually, well, I should show you. Yeah, so I was thinking activating 12 core, possibly attacking here. Could also bring this infantry unit in to support that attack, and then I think if I brought that infantry into there, it would surround that unit. Because at the moment he's got an out hex here, but if I get that unit in there, that surrounds him. Have an attack with all them on that. Not sure about the two infantry units there. Yeah. Not sure. I'd like to try and take that on as well. But however, and then the cavalry unit I could get along in the R1 to kind of double that up. So I think we're going to need that. However, I noticed the problem. So yeah, and the problem was, I remember before this unit moved, we had an infantry unit underneath who didn't have quite the movement to get to Hue. However, this 12th SS unit's moved in there now and can break zone of control 1, 2, 3, 4 into there. So if they were to activate, that's another 5 victory points, and starting to move some stuff towards Namur, which is a 10 victory point city. Well, this is bad enough anyway, so I feel like we need to do something about that. And I thought, well, what can I do? And initially I thought 7th Corps, and I thought, well, I brought these armour units down, do I really want to move them back up? But there's a lot of trouble up there, and they're our strongest division, so maybe they should come up. However, I did think I've got the 2 5th Corps, 5th Armour Division units, and there's a, I don't know if that's quite, I think it's just on the map, there's a 5th Corps unit just under there, so 1, 2, 3, we could deploy them into this hex here, which would, yeah, that would stop that unit from moving straight into Hue. So that sounded like an idea, but then I also started looking and thinking, well, you know what, it might be better moving the 2nd armour units up. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to play this. Just do it, Grant. Come on, just do it. Because what I thought was, it's blocking things a little bit. 1, 2, 3. I can move that up into here, so that's blocking that path. I mean, okay, this is. Well, this is strong enough, this unit. What is this? Ooh, that's 7 core as well. With a 5th core unit underneath. Right, hang on a sec. Right, hang on, I've just thought about, I've got the 1st Army card, and that activates a core. So I could use the 1st Army card, activates 7 core, and what it does is you get to activate the unit stacked with units. Now there's one that we just noticed there. There's also this guy here. I mean, would I put that to any use? I mean, I did look at that and think, could we have a wee bash at that guy? But it's across the river. But if we were to get the 5th core unit along with it, that would be 8 strength. I mean, it's only what? Well, 3 chip pools, but we also got a bonus combat tactic. We're playing the 1st Army card. So it'd be half across the river, so it'd be 4-1 on that guy. With 1, 2, 3, and then what are the bonus combat tactics? So it would be 4 chip pools. And then, but would we put this to any use? Because my thinking was I'm moving these units up here to attack this guy, not to attack this. But what is this? I think it's a full strength thing, this. Yeah, I mean, it's 4 strength, 3 steps. I mean, it is in low supply, but it's not that they're not all in low supply. He's not, so that doesn't really make that worthwhile, does it? Yeah, it doesn't really mean. There's 5 strength in there, and our 15 would be coming along, so it'd be 20, and he's got 7 strength. So even if we were to find, I do have a tank battalion, but I don't want to use that card for that. That's the 5th core. That's deploying the 5th armoured units. So getting 3-1. That's not bad though, is it? If I could get 3-1. And I'd get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the bonus 7. Oh well, the bonus could be, yeah, I could just use the bonus as a tank battalion, couldn't I? Or combat engineers. Not really one you would have thought of having. Ooh, that's the other thing I need. I could also use that for assault coordination, but that's not, no. Oh, decisions. I'll have to think a little more, right? Yeah, I actually think I'm going to change that and give this a go. As crazy it may sound. So, I'm just thinking, I mean, this is probably the best chance to benefit from that 1st Army card. Apart from maybe using it as any combat tactic, you know. But if I'm going to use it to activate a core, this is probably the best one, because I get the extra 2 5th core units. It's not huge, I suppose, but there's no other places where there's units stacked, you know, that I could make much of it. Right, let's go with this. So I'm going to activate any one 1st Army core. So I'm activating 7 core still. And stacked units. So like I say, there's a 5th core unit stacked beside that guy, and there's a 5th core unit stacked beside this cavalry unit here. So I'm going to give this a go. Did I count out the numbers I did, didn't I? 5, yeah, it was going to be 20, so to really get, I really need to add one, probably combat engineers. It's not, to be honest, I mean, the fact you've got a wild combat tactic, combat engineers is probably not what you would be thinking about using. But what else would I use? Air power or artillery maybe. But I could play artillery also. I'm just thinking about using that tank battalion card. This is a tank battalion card, but it lets me deploy the 5th Armoured units, and deploying it with a division card is quite good, knowing that we've still got the core card to come for the 5th Corps, and then maybe do a little bit more, you know. And reinforced battle, they're obviously the big combat tactics. Assault coordination is not really going to help. Reinforced battle, it's not really, is it? Right. And air powers, well, they're all a bit hit or miss really, depending on what you draw, aren't they? Okay, let's do this. Right. Now, unfortunately, I thought I could maybe get one. I was going to put maybe 1 or 2 of the units in here, but I can't reach 1, 2, and then there's not a road in that forest, so it'd be another 4 movement into that forest. So that's rather unfortunate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so all I can really do is go on this hex, but this is the hex that was going to block the road to Hui anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 4 into there. Yeah, and I think I might still do this. By bringing this guy down, maybe just into Hui. Yeah, well, was almost going to bring this guy down because I could strategically move him down into there, but now I've blocked this off with this 15 strength elite armour. I don't see there's a danger to Hui anymore. Certainly not at the minute. So, but if you recall, last year my impulse, or the impulse before, the main impulse, they did get an attack on this, and it was 1.5 to 1, and you know, it could have went, they only had 3 chip pools, yes, but it could have went a lot worse. And not just that, these, in fact, all of these, no, this one can't, but this stack here can quite easily move into here, threatening this. So I think I might just move that guy into there, just as a wee bit added support there. Because if something else does come in there, and then these both stacks attack, then that might be a lot worse. I know this stuff would be coming across the river, but that doesn't matter. Okay, so I think I'll go with that. Don't think I'm moving anything else. I think I'll leave that guy there because initially my thinking was attack here, but just because I've got this extra unit here, why not give this a go? And these 2 guys here, I don't believe are going to move. Well, this one, I did think about doing something with this one. Hang on. To be honest, if anything, this one should go in here, shouldn't it? Support that town. Because there's quite a force here that would have a go. I think there is a river in there, isn't there? Yeah, there is. Even still, I mean, he's sitting here, not really doing an awful lot. I did ponder on moving him down towards La Roche, because I remember I said La Roche was free. But he's only going to 1, 2. Yeah, he can't get in this forest. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he's not going to get adjacent to La Roche. If he could have got adjacent, it might have been worth thinking about. Because then we know we've got the 7-core activation, 7-core card in our hand still. Activate 7-core, not next impulse, next again, and then I can move into La Roche because that detachment will fall off. I don't think even strategically I can't move adjacent either, can I? No. It's just a pity that was a forest. Yeah, it doesn't work, Grant, does it? Moving this guy out wouldn't work either. This is 1, 2. Yeah, no. Well, I've just noticed must have been some more damage to my tweezers escaping my hand, because that's not a bridge there. You know what, it must be here. Yeah, it must be in between these two. Yeah, because we took this bridge back, and I think once when we activate these guys, we would have got this bridge. But even activating them just now doesn't grab that bridge, so yeah, I've got to make sure that it is that one though. So I should keep it on that side, shouldn't I? Right. Okay. It's just as at first I thought there was a river here, because there was another crazy thought. If I do move this guy into here, I would have 6 against 2. I mean, he's got an IP, but remember, all our attacks are going to benefit from that bonus combat tactic. Well, you know what? I think I'm going to move this guy into here, and then I can have a wee think about if there is a combat there. Because I think he's better there than where he was, and he didn't really have anywhere exciting to go, I don't think. So better being beside his buddy there, I think. And I think that now sets us up that the 7th Corps are going to kind of stay here and hold things, which I think makes sense, doesn't it? We brought these 2nd Armour units, because there's quite a crowd, and it's not just what's here on the board. It's like all the stuff in the reserve units box, which I tend to forget. But when you look at it, it's a scary amount of units. Okay, so, and then, well, can't move that unit anyways, surrounded. And I don't think we want to move that unit. No, we decided we didn't. Okay, that's good. And in actual fact, you would build an IP, not that that's terribly relevant, I suppose. Okay, so got to now decide about my attacks then. Okay, I don't know if this is nuts or not, but I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go for this. So these guys are going to attack, and these guys. So we have there's 15 there, and then our 5 here. Like I say, that 5th Corps unit gets to activate as well because of the 1st Army situation. So that's 20, and then we get this bonus combat tactic. So I think we've got to just getting it to 3 to 1, because like I say, they've got 7. He's only a 1-stepper, and the one good thing is, I know it's kind of irrelevant. This guy's in low supply. I don't think it's going to do us any favours at all. If they'd all been in low supply, yes. He's green though, so that could be. And I don't think they've not got armour as well. It's all infantry. It's mechanised infantry. So. But it is 7, and the fact we've got 20, that 1 extra point would just be good. So I think we will play a bonus combat tactics combat engineers to give us that extra strength, and also might prevent, because they are going to get to draw a card. So if they draw combat engineers, then we get a result there. So let's move that along just now. So 21 to 7. There's 3 to 1 odds. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm going to play this as well. I think I'm going to play artillery as well. So, chip pools, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units, and then 1 for elite is 6, and then 1 for the combat engineers is 7. So we've got the large attack. I just feel like putting artillery in here. I mean, we're kind of going for this. I mean, I'm not sure why, but I don't know. I feel like I need to do something. Just wondering. So I've just kind of realised, could they get an undetected defender? You know, the fact he's got, it's only 3 steps he's got in it. So that's only 4 steps in the hex. There's 2 first SS units and the reserve units boxed. Let me just check that rule again. Oh, well, I'm glad I did check. We're getting away with it. Although it was like undetected German defenders, just 12.22. In step 3 of an allied attack, draw 1 German card from the German draw pile if at least 1 unit in the defending stack is in supply. So I mean, the fact that unit underneath is not in supply, but he's on top, is in supply. And then if the formation on the card matches that of any of the defending units, so then it looks at the unit underneath it is in low supply as well. So it could be relevant to bring in a defender as well. But fortunately, as we carry on, and the defending units are in reserve supply. Well, they are. No, they are not. They are not. They're over the river. I forgot. But we were getting saved anyway, because the last part is and possess fewer than 4 steps in total. They've got 4 steps. So, but they can trace reserve supply as well, which I didn't quite notice at first. So that's good. Right, we can breathe a sigh of relief on that one. But I'm still going to get that combat tactic. Right, give me a sec. One thing they could get is a reinforced battle though. I think something like this, 4 strength. Would this guy be able to... Yeah, he would be able to go out and in as well actually, so that'd be another 5 strength, that would be horrible. I just have to hope that doesn't happen. Right, are you playing the artillery or not, Grant? Come on. Yeah, I'm just doing it. I'm going to play this for artillery as well. So give me another chip pool up to 8. I did think if I made this attack here 3 to 1, I'm only getting 1, 2, 3 chip pools. Oh, I'm forgetting about the bonus combat tactic though, am I not? That's where the extra chip pool's coming from. No, okay. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. Right, let's draw a card, see if the Germans are... Let's hope it's not reinforced battle. Combat engineers would be good. Or any of the other ones that don't affect. Right, here we go. Infantry infiltration. That'll do. That's only an attack, isn't it? Yes, it is. The pinky strike again. So, nothing for the Germans. That's good. That was the primary card for the core that we just activated as well. Okay, so what's our minimum chip pool then? Oh, it's going to be 4, isn't it? He's got 3 steps. So it's going to be 4 minimum and 8 maximum. So I'm going to have to go and sort some dogs out though, I think. Right, so minimum of 4 chip pools, maximum 8. So let's get the 4 and see if we can get something going here. Wow, would you look at that? I was disappointed with this one. It's 91 on the front side, less than 41 on the back, but when I consider, look at the rest. Flank attack, we are flanking. Defender elite or defender green, remember I told you he's the defender elite is a priority, but he's not got elite, he's got a green infantry unit. And then this one, defender recon, well he's not a recon unit, and it's combat engineers, which we played. So that's D3. 1 hit to us, okay, but that's pretty awesome, isn't it? So he's got 4 steps, he's not going to get any, there's no IP, no town to soak up any hits. So he would do a hold check there, wouldn't he? Because he's got 4. steps, and we've got D3. I feel like we should go for this. What we've got there, we should go for it and try and do more damage. I don't really want to stop there. I know that's a good result as it is, but or is it more sensible just going to 7, not drawing that 8th chat? I don't know. The thing with this game, I think the majority of the time you always, I mean, if you look at when the Germans play, they just draw all their chats, and I think the majority of the time you do that. There are occasions where it makes no sense, but I think when you're even this position I'm in just now, I still kind of feel like I want to draw the other 4. Yeah, I'm going to. I just remember we played artillery as well. Yeah, we've got elite armour. He's not got armour. There's a lot of things going in our favour. So I'm going to go all in. I'm going to get the other 4. Well, what about that? Attacker elite, only attacker armour, and this one was 5-1 on the front. It's 3-1 though, so it is another D1. Okay, it's another A1 hit. That's pretty an amazing draw, I think. Yeah, still no artillery, but what a great result. Right, let me count them up. 7 hits to them, 2 to us. Wow. And I just realised one of the things that would have benefited, he's in a woods hex, never drew any terrain chits at all. So that may be one of the things he might have had in his favour, but so yeah, wow. So does that take them out? What did they say? They had 4 steps, so retreat, and then 5 step losses. It does. Wow. Yeah, I just had to go and look to double check that. So they would retreat twice, because we've got 4 steps. 4 steps, retreat, and then 5 step losses. That eliminates both of them. Wow. There you go, eh? Okay, so we've got 2 hits to take ourselves though, so let me have a look. Yeah, I'll take one from the elite infantry. That's in Ufe. Is that wise, mind you? Well, actually I have to, don't I? I have to take 1 from each stack. That's not... That was one of the things I maybe didn't consider. However, I mean, the thing is, it's taking this guy out of surround now as well, so... yeah, I think I just have to do that. I mean, I could get a bad attack on Ufe though, couldn't I? Well, I don't think I've not got an option, have I? Unless I take 1 hit on that and disperse them, but I don't want to do that. I've still got the 7 core card in my hand. So it's going to have to be that. So, and then the other step loss. Got to take one of these guys. He dropped, actually, does one of them not drop to a 4? Yeah. Selector number 1 drops to a 4, so I'll take him and keep the other 2 like that. Yeah, Ufe, it's weakened that, but I could, with my other activation, although the temptation's to have a go at this guy, when I activate the 7 core again. Well, maybe I could just attack with 2 and bring something along into Ufe to support it. Okay, well that's for... Ooh, I get to advance after combat as well. I probably want to advance to trap that guy, don't I? Right, hang on, I'll clear the chits and the dice and we'll see about advance. Yeah, definitely want to advance something. Then I started thinking, why not advance them all? That wouldn't be a terrible idea as well. Not that we're going to consider an attack on that guy, are we? 5, 10, 14. We've got an R2 there, 16. That is 3 to 1. That's all we had in that battle. Just feel like there's not a gap because that guy can't come through. I mean, unless he was stacked to another unit. But by me putting these guys in here, it stops anything coming into that hex, doesn't it? So yeah, I think I will. I think I'll advance them all into there. Yeah, I was just thinking if I could, but there's no path of retreat. I can't advance a second hex into there because I'm going for zone of control, yeah, so I can't do that. Okay, well that was good. Right, so it makes me worry about these, considering these other two attacks. Well, there's no real point in not doing this one. I mean, here's the thing. This guy can get an undetected defender. He can trace reserve supply, and he has only one step. So there's a risk there. But I'm going to go for it. So we're going to attack here. That's 8 strength. Into here, but it's half going across the river. So it's 4 to 1 odds. What is any other cards getting played? 4 to 1 odds. Now, at the moment, we've got 1, 2, and then 1 for elite 3. But we've got a bonus combat tactic. Not sure what that's going to be yet, but it's going to give us 4 chip pools. I don't think I'm going to play. No. Right. Let me see. Let me think. Well, I think it can only be artillery, air power, or if I wanted to consider combat engineers again. No, that wouldn't help me, would it? Because that'd be 9. Well, it'd stop him from playing combat engineers. Nah, I don't think that's worthy here. It's not, the extra strength point's not doing us any good. And tank battalion, we've got armour in the battle already, so we can't. There's no. Wait a minute. Just realised. No, he wasn't there. He wasn't there anyway. No, that's fine. The only reinforced battle option would be if I had something here, wouldn't it? I could have brought it across there. So yeah, that's not an option. So artillery or air power grant. We've never seen any of the chits at all. Okay, I'm gonna go artillery again. So right, so Germans get a draw. So here we need some good luck again, I think. Here we go. Oh, it's the first SS. It's not a match. Oh, reinforced battle. Oh, no. Sorry, there's a card. I'm looking at the match at first because it's a 12 VG. I think it's got to match them, hasn't it? Pretty sure it's got to match the 12 VG. Yeah, but they are going to get a reinforced battle. Oh no. Well, I suppose that's what we didn't want in that last combat. That was the better combat, I feel. I mean, I'm not saying I don't care about these units, but it's not quite as important. Right, so who's going to reinforce then? And this was a bit of that question before, that how do you choose between stacks when you're defending it? When you're attacking, it gives you some options, and the last option is then stack with the lowest numbered unit. I think Martin answered my question back when I asked it, saying that that's what he would do, is he would go with the stack with the lowest unit, because it doesn't really say that. It says that just says if defending unit stack moves into the hex with the defending units, and then the next paragraph talks about attacking and how you would decide there. So I mean that whole stack can move in. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is looking worse than I thought. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That whole stack can move in as well. This has got a selector number of 2. And what has this got? This has got a 5, which suggests that this whole stack's going to move in there. Oh, Grant. That's right, isn't it? I believe so. So they've got, and you know what else? Oh no, they moved back there, didn't they, to get in supply, didn't they? Yeah. I was going to say that's actually putting them in supply, but now there's no issue with the fact that they're in low supply that they can't come and join. I don't think so. No, I don't. We've already decided last impulse that low supply unit could attack. I mean, there's nothing to say they can't move. You don't draw a combat tactic for them. Okay, so I think this is happening. I think these are all going in here. Hang on. Got that low supply unit. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, what do you know? 6 steps. Oh no, is it 4 units? It's 4 units, Grant. Yeah, balloon. Right, hang on. Let's rethink that one then. Well, here's the next question, I suppose. That's unit selector number 4. That's unit selector number 2. Do some of them go in? Selector number 2 and selector number 4, they're both the lowest numbers. I'll leave the other guy there. That's a question. Because I don't think you need to take the whole stack. Yeah, okay. I would figure you could split up a stack. The only thing I could find is, I was asking about the German solo game. Somebody asked, you can move a unit or a stack, but can you split it up and take 2 units and leave 1 behind? And it was John Butterfield replied that yes, you can do that. You can split up a stack. So I guess in this position we'd be able to do that as well. It's not, like I say, I think reinforced battle for the Germans defending could be a little more clearer. But all I'm going to take from it is I'm going to pick the unit stack with a low selector number, like we decided. So that's this stack. And I'm going to select that unit. And the next again, lowest unit, if you like. So, hang on. So we're going to have that down the bottom in low supply. Then this guy, and then this guy. Was it? Yeah. So, and then we're leaving this guy behind, but he was in low supply as well, so we need to mark him in low supply. And obviously he can't come because the stack's now full with 3 units. yeah, almost had 4 units in there. It's counting up to 6. And I think that would happen rather than these guys come across. We just got to go with a lower selector, but that's all I can go by. Okay, so this is looking horrible. Hang on, some things have moved here. I think I've moved the book and it's moved some units. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I'm a bit more cluttered up here at the minute, but anyway. Right, so what have we got now then? Like I say, it's kind of horrible, isn't it? So we've got 4, 8, 9 strength. And what were we? We were 8.5, so it's 4 against 9, so I can wipe out our odds. We're less than 1 to 1. And there's also something worse. There's 5 steps now in this hex, so our minimum draw is actually 5 chip pools. I mean, I know our maximum is 4, but I'm pretty sure, I'm just going to have a quick look at that. It's not something that comes up very often, but I'm pretty sure you always have to draw the minimum. And the fact that there's now 5 steps in there means that's what it's going to be. Yeah, here it is. Page 43, mandatory minimum. If the calculated chip draw maximum is equal to or less than the required minimum draw, the attacker draws just the required minimum number of combat chips. Never draw less than the required minimum. So there you go. There's probably one that would catch folk out. I would never have thought that. Probably seen it one day and realised, I think, but it's not something that comes up very often. So, and I say that's worse for us because we want to get out of this combat. If we could stop it now, then we would, but, well, we've got a wheat. I don't think he's got a wheat, is he? Did he bring a green unit? No, he didn't. I think that, no, I'm talking rubbish. Yeah, he doesn't have a wheat, but he's got combined arms now. He's certainly not got a wee piddly 1 strength bracketed infantry unit, so. Right, well, we've no choice. We've got to draw 5 chits. So, here we go. I'm so annoyed there. I was going along, these were the first 3 chits, 1, 2, 3. I was cursing at this one because one of our options was to play air power, wasn't it? Instead of, but I chose artillery instead. And then, so 1, 2, 3, I thought, oh, we're maybe going to get away with this. Look at this, boom, boom. So, got this with no odds at all. So, that's brutal. So 2 hits. There's a chance of maybe. Should we consider dispersing, or is that silly? Probably is, isn't it? I started to have a cheeky thought. I thought, if I disperse these guys, they've not exerted a zone of control. These units are unsupplied. Their movement method would then let them move into this hex, like moving out of Liège. But then I realised that these units could just clearly move into Liège because there's no zone of control there as well. So I think it is. I don't think it's a gamey situation I could benefit from. I think. I don't think I want to put them dispersed, so I'm going to have to reduce these 2 units. That's not good. No, that backfired. So I take the 2 hits, 1 on each. yeah. So that was that. Right, am I going to just get angry and go with this other attack now? See if we can redeem that one. I mean, well, we can't really argue. That first combat was amazing, so I'm not sure this one. This is going to be, what, 6 against 2, so 3 to 1, but he's got an IP. He couldn't bring any an undetected defender, but again, there's nothing to stop a reinforced battle there. So, what's his chances of him drawing 2 reinforced battles? Well, what combat tactic would we be using? We get 3 to 1, 1, 2. We're only going to get 3 chip pools. And combat tactics again, I mean, I did think this guy could reinforce the battle, bring in 9 along, but it means moving this unit out of Houghton. And I don't think that's very clever, is it? There's a German unit here that could activate, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so yeah, I can't take the chance with that. Not after taking the 2 points back. And I looked at this British stack and thought, they can't quite reach. They can only get to here. So yeah, he's the only one that could reinforce the battle, and I don't want to use him. Nah. So I think just after what's happened there, I'm going to limp out on this one and not go for it, and just strengthen Ufe rather than take a chance. I mean, if I do draw another reinforced battle, it's going to be a similar situation to what I just had there. And well, we've seen what happened there. So okay, well, some good, some bad. I mean, I suppose the result, I would have preferred this result here rather than that result, but yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so that's activation. Well, hang on. I think, did I not say this guy could build an IP? He didn't do anything, so he can build an IP. I'm pretty sure he's the only one, because this is a town, isn't it? Yeah. Sorry, I'm saying Ufe. Ufe's here, isn't it? Yeah. And we didn't get Ufe strengthened. It got reduced a little bit. Yeah, okay, so it's not a victory point town. Oh, is that changing your thoughts, Grant? No, you know what? I don't think it is. I think I'm just going to leave it there. So that's impulse over. This video's went on far too long, and I'm running out of space. So yeah, this will probably get added on. It'll probably be a big part to the video now. This one's stretched on a bit, but there you go. Okay, I'll tidy things up here and get this video up to you, uploaded, guys. Well, actually, hang on. Do we want to see? Oh, I know what. I'll wait until we come back and draw, because I'm going to be drawing 3 new cards. I've got 4, so rather than go on about what they are and what I'm thinking about and whatever, I'll wait until we start I'll wait until just before starting the next German Impulse. Okay, guys. Cheers for now.